Yeah. So, good evening to one and all. This is really a very historic and epoch-changing alumni meet, and I'm extremely pleased to have a very senior most alumni of Shastra, Mr. Anand, who had volunteered and who is extremely energetic to guide, to mentor the current generation student. I have already shared his very prolific experience over email, but to make it short for the benefit of the people who have joined live now, he has over 20 plus experience of being in water industry. When I say water industry, it could from water filtration treatment, including process development, not just in US, but he looks after the processes or the consultants both in US, Middle East, and to a good extent in Asia Pacific. And he is extremely a person who wants to connect to his alma mater, just not only to share his experience, but he wants to make sure that the current students do also grow up and be able to establish themselves as very chemical engineers of the next generation. Thank you, Mr. Anand, for coming forward to talk to the young generation of Shastra today. So I'm extremely pleased to welcome you, and the stage is yours. And as I said, the topic is extremely catchy and very sweet, very short. He has just titled it as "What Next." So with short intro, I welcome Mr. Anand. And Anand, you can start doing a screen sharing Aramikla.
Okay. First, can everybody hear me?
I can hear somebody else. Can they hear? PG,
yes,
are you? Yeah.
Okay, great. If you want to see my face, this is me. Hello, everybody. Very, very nice to see you all. This is my pleasure to talk to you. I've been trying this for almost a year to talk to people in Sastra. Finally, it came together. Before we go into the presentation, I want to make sure this discussion, this is not about me, this is about you. If you can take something out of what I'm going to tell you, that is really, really good. That is what I'm hoping for. This is not an opportunity for me to say how good I am, okay, or how good I talk. So why I'm saying that is, if you don't understand anything, please immediately message me or ping Professor Narayanan, or just tell me also that I will be able to restate that, or I will try to explain it again. Okay. So, and if you don't hear me properly, also please let me know. People always used to tell me that you have a very funny accent because of you've been living outside India for a long time. I said I don't know, but I will try to make sure my communication is very easy and easily understandable by you guys. With that, I am going to, can you see my screen?
Yes, Anand.
Okay, so, okay, yeah, I'm going to go now into my presentation. So 20 years ago, I was probably in the same shoes as what you guys were, and at least the final year guys were. The only difference is, we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have that dire urge to respond to a WhatsApp message within the fraction of a second. And we didn't have an opportunity to like what the person brushed his teeth with the previous TikTok or something. So the disadvantage of our generation was there was no connectivity. And we still were a lot of options we had in terms of pursuing what we had to do next, but we were clueless in terms of what is good for us. So the whole point of this session is to tell you what is that you can do. Okay? Does anybody have any questions so far?
Yeah, I think you can proceed.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because
So,
yeah, I will ask them to post it in the chat. If I see any questions in the chat, I will stop you. So that would be better.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's nice, wonderful. Because I am not seeing the chat because I am
yeah,
presenting
that's why you will not be able to see the
screen.
chat. So what
So
I'm
that is the
saying is,
technical part.
if at all if there is any questions, I'll just stop them. I mean, I'll just stop you, and you can. I'll repeat the question. Others, whoever is having a question, you can just put it in the chat box. Yeah, Anand, you can
Okay,
continue.
great. Thank you. So we did not know what to do. We did not know what choice we have to make in terms of choosing our career. Do we have to do masters immediately? Do we have to do masters 2 years later? Oh, what about MBA? Oh, IIM sounds wonderful. Does it add any value to us if we do IIM right away after finishing our BTech? Another thing is, of course, like, a Western country to pursue a master's. That was a really big deal in 95 onwards. 99, 99 is when like huge chunk of people started coming from Australia or Germany or other Western countries. So what I'm going to talk about is what are these options mean to you and why these options are important for you to know before you take a decision. So the whole point of this slide is like forward. Every one of you have a different goals. Not everybody wants to have the same kind of lifestyle, same kind of environment, same kind of what I want to say is uh, comfort of the life. Somebody wants Lamborghini, somebody are very good, happy with Toyota. Somebody wants to have a village style with a lot of trees around, and somebody wants to live in Manhattan or New York or in the middle of Delhi with you cannot even park a car. So this whole thing is about what you have to decide what you want to do. That is the starting point of the whole life from here. It's not about what your father wants to do, what your mom wants to do, or somebody else is pushing you to do. What is to your so why I say that is every one of you have a unique strength. Somebody if tell me that like I think there is a girl Darini, she was saying like she can do process diagrams very fast. That is, can tell me I'm very strong in basics. I am a very good communicator. I can read very, very well in terms of complex articles. I can write reports very faster and meaningful reports. I can do experiments with very, very, very good organization. Someone can say, my project management skills are really, really good. I'm very attentive to focus. So are unique skills that people have. I want you guys to first understand what are the skills that we are looking for in the industry. Then before you go and decide, first you realize what is your unique strength. That is the most important thing you have to do. And other than that, like almost everybody here and whoever goes to college wants to be successful. There is not a single person who deliberately wants to spend the money and not to be successful. I haven't met that person again. So some of them are rebellious and purposefully not studying during the examination, but even in the bottom of their heart, they want to be very successful. The inner motivation is there. So what is the problem? This is what I in the problem in the last 20 years that I've been seeing from different people. Have sometimes too many things in front of them. They don't know what is the best way to go forward. That is the most difficult part. So you see the third screen I'm having here, right? So that is the most difficult part for the people because they cannot figure out what can they do next. So that is the whole point of my topic also, what's next. So when you figure out what to be, you're going to be doing developing your once you build a profile, even for a small job interview, it is not enough for you to go just with a certificate and just talk nicely. You need to project as if you are the only candidate for this job that you are going to do. that is being applied for or that is being interviewing for. Other than that, if you're even going into an R&D or even consulting, any position that you need is to building a profile. How you build a profile is the whole life you're going to be successful or not successful is going to depend on that. Okay. So before I'm not going to belabor, but into all the things that Professor Narayan has said. So why I am mentoring? So I want to make sure that you understand that 20 years ago, I was also like you guys. I did not have really lot of options. I was trying out everything. I was preparing for GRE. I was preparing for CAT. I was even preparing for GMAT. And then I want to make sure, and I was preparing for, somebody told me to prepare for IAPC exam. Okay, I was preparing even for that. In addition to that, I was also going for interviews. Somehow lucky, I got a job, and then later, I'm still in the chemical industry. So what different I did, something differently I did 20 years ago is I was getting really good, very good pay. I was talking about 99, 2000. I decided to get my master's in US. After getting my master's in US also, I joined a company where I was continuously learning. I was in water filtration industry, but almost 90% of my time I spent in oil and gas. We provided customized solution to oil and gas, and probably 80% is operation production, and 20% is on the downstream, which is refinery, petrochemicals. I have probably visited a little bit more than 100 refineries worldwide. So I was so lucky to work on advanced technology. When 30 plus countries is where we have executed projects, and I work with more than 2,000 professionals. So why I am even talking, we had units. When we say business unit, I established from company, officers, hired engineers, salesperson, had we actually rented where people come and work, and we executed projects locally in at least 20 countries. In that 10 countries, I trained people for more than 1 year or 2 years. So when this was happening in 2014, one of my colleague, actually he is a professor too in a VIT, he was asking me, why can't he please come and talk to our students? Ulterior motive, he wanted me to give some internships for his students. That's what he was going for, but he wanted me to first come and talk to them first. So I said, okay, definitely, because I have never trained a student till that time. We hire people, even freshers out of college, primes at that time, before very rarely from local candidates in 2000 till 2000 branched a lot into other countries. We started hiring local engineers, even in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, even Albania, London, Italy, Malaysia. Also recently, we had some applications in Philippines, and then of course India. We have done a lot of projects in India as well, and Australia. So going here and talking to people were asking me, so why are you training only your own engineers? If you train somebody young, if you, because they are already being trained at the student level, so when they come to work, they are prepared to execute their jobs. So that's when I started developing, probably, what, we need to identify the talents and groom them and mentor them young, so they will also know what exactly they are trying to get into. So that's why I'm trying to do this. Okay. So before we go into the details, I'm going to talk about, this is just a motivational slide. The one thing I constantly get, especially students in India, is that I am not good in technical specs. I am not strong enough. How many of you feel that way? Can you say yes? Type yes. I wanted to see
So
how many
somebody
people
can type yes. So if you can type.
How many of you feel that way? That you did not study well and you are not confident that you will be able to do the engineering, day-to-day engineering job, and you are not technically qualified. How many of you feel that way?
So I've almost got 20. Yeah, all yes. Anand, you can take
Okay.
as unanimous yes.
Yeah, I know. Because that is almost 100% of the people that I see, they all feel the same way. Okay, you are not even. I live in Atlanta. It is in state of Georgia in United States, and there is a engineering college nearby called Georgia Tech. When I came in US in 2000, that was not even in top 40 or top 50 for chemical engineering. Now it is in top 3 in US. Coming into top 3 in chemical engineering in US is a real. All my engineers, I probably have hired 12 or 15 engineers in the last 20 years from Georgia Tech. Even they feel the same way, is what I'm telling. Nothing wrong in you feeling bad that you are not technically qualified. The only thing you need to do or you need to tell yourself is, what are you going to do onwards? Okay, you are bad, so what? Are you going to go back to agriculture? You're going to go get some cows and start grazing? If that is the case, we will not be having this conversation, right? So you have decided that you are going to stay in engineering. So if that is your decision that you are going to make, what you need to tell yourself is, everybody starts somewhere. You have not started yet, and people like me, I have not started yet too. Though I want to say that I was very comfortable in basic engineering, I was not very comfortable in advanced equations and solving and stuff like that when I graduated. So this person here, take a look at the slide I'm sharing, right? The Roberto Goizueta. He was a Cuban immigrant. He was an average C student, actually voting against him to be kicked out. In some universities in US, they can kick you out if you're not performing well. You're passing, you're not failing, but you're still there thinking the money, the effort, the time and energy they're spending on you is not worth. So he was almost to be kicked out, and someone said, you know what, passionate. He is just not getting the stuff, but he is really, really hardworking, and then I know he is talented as well. So they tweaked how he approached the exams and what kind of projects he does and stuff like that, and he became very, very successful. Actually, he became Coca-Cola. Everybody know Coca-Cola, right? He became a CEO of a Coca-Cola. He was chemical engineer. He was about to be kicked out, and he was a Cuban immigrant. He did not even speak English that much. And after even graduation, he went back to Cuba, and during the civil unrest, he came back almost as a refugee. He became from a worker to the CEO of the company, and he grew the company. It is not a small company. It's already a $4 billion company, $4 billion. He made it into a little bit close to $200 billion company within 12 or 15 years in his tenure. That is a phenomenal achievement. Okay, he is not like even Ambani, right? Where he was very fortunate to see his father's growth, and he got real input from day to day, from seeing the machinations and how his father coming up with ideas, and he was trained so much. This guy is not like that. He didn't have anybody, but once he got into the company, he put his complete effort to make it very big. So the whole point of this guy, this is the time you need to stop telling yourself you are not good. If you are going to keep on telling that you are not good, you are never going to be good. So the way I see it, okay, I don't know this. I'm not good in technical, okay? No, I still don't know it, is what I want you guys to think. So you can focus on how to learn it. Before we go into the options, I want you guys to know a typical career trajectory for somebody with an engineering degree. Like you join as a trainee or a technician, you become an engineer, then a manager, You guys all can still see my screen, right? The career trajectory, I have it in the screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, very wonderful. So it comes to a manager, to the director level, and the VP, and the senior management, and CEO. What you make in your life is going to determine how soon or how easy you're going to get to the next level. Your education, your experience, your exposure, and skills. Those are the four main things that are going to determine how you're going to get to the next level. You guys are all very comfortable with that, right? Before also getting into your options, you need to understand where you are now. Okay? So if you don't even know where you are now in terms of your career goal, in terms of education, some basic level of exposure, some experience and skills. I'm not saying you should have skills. This is about you realizing how much you have it. Your journey into the real world starts when you start admitting to yourself about how good you are or how much you actually know. Not how much you paid for in the college and how much of time you spent doesn't have any. Okay, so once you know that, for the big leap in the time, which is anything in your life from now on, it's going to take four things: time, energy, your sincere effort, and money. These four things are going to determine how you can be successful, or how much knowledge, education, experience that you are going to gain to go to the next level. Some people might not have time. Some people, like I know, they're from very poor family and they have to start earning right away. Some people did not have money. That's also one thing. Some people don't have energy. Some people, they don't want to put effort. So the combination of this, how much you want to spend in all these four parameters, is going to determine how successful you are going to be in life. And this is also going to determine what you want to do next. You are not energy in studying, there goes your master's. Don't bother about like an applying for exams and CAT and GRE and stuff if you are not going to put your effort. You're just wasting time. Okay, so now that we understand basically what are all the things that we need to know before we start making choices, every one of you may be passionate about wildlife, you might be passionate about eradicating world hunger, you might be passionate about solving some innovative problems. So what are the things that you are very passionate about? Then we already talked about strength. Your journey is not going to start till you identify your strength. You can still be traveling, but you would not realize it is meaningful or not. Meaningful realization of your effort is going to come only when you realize, okay, oh my God, I'm so strong in this. Let me focus on this. Research and development and innovative thinking comes to me naturally. So I should be focusing on developing new products, new solutions. Another thing, people always take a tough decision is personal choices. I have known several of my friends who don't want to come out of their towns. They don't want to move to a different country. I know one particular friend of mine, he would have had a wonderful career in US or even in London or in Houston, but he didn't want to travel out of his hometown, Kadalur. So he's in his field, chemical engineer, but he's still working in his engineering field. But I keep on telling him for very long, not now, like 10 years ago, I told him, hey, you know what? Whatever I am the same. You know what he told me once? We don't want the same thing. That is why you are different. It never it never dawned. After that only I realized, you know what, like people have differences in that. So you make the choice in terms of where you want to live, how you want to live, how much effort you want to put in your life. That is all personal choices. Once you have these three identified insights, insight is people, someone like me in the industry who've been there, really in the industry, or someone who has not been in the industry, but like, they are analyzing the trends in the industry. They can give you where the industry, what is happening inside the facility, what is happening in the job market. Once you have that, you will ready to make the choices. So, so far everything is okay, you guys? Can I continue? May I continue?
Yeah, you can continue.
Can you can still hear me, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, good. So the options in front of you. So what are you finished? Basically, what I feel is there are only three things: work or start up your own business. These are going to be based on different. People might be really developing relationships and also coming up with new way of marketing. Those people are really cut for either marketing or business development jobs, or they are ready to start their own business. If I'm a very introvert, I don't even want to talk to people, okay, then I'm really not qualified for a sales job. My basics are so poor, and I don't want to spend any time in learning anything more in engineering, which means that I'm not going to be an R&D engineer for a big company. I just have to live with it. I may be an operations engineer, operations manager, operations director. I can become that, but I'm not going to be doing very good in R&D. So what you are going to be good at is going to be based on what is your core strength, not about core academics, core strength. The skill and the strength that you possess is going to determine, and it's going to write your life. Okay? So we are going to go into the options in detail, but I don't want to sound like I am presenting. I want to talk as if like in front of each other and having a conversation. That is why I'm not being very dramatic. So I want you guys to feel that this conversation. Okay, guys? So most of the people that I talk to, they want to do masters. I ask them, why you want to do masters? Some of the people are very honest and they tell me because they are not getting jobs with their engineering bachelors. So the question for me is, for them is this: if you did not get a job for studying 4 years, what exactly do you think are you going to do differently in the 1 year or 2 years? I'm candidate for a job. If you don't have the answer for that, stop wasting money. Just try for a job, experience for a job, and then get it. And then people also ask me, should I do MTech? Should I? My advice for people doing MTech is this: we have a lot of wonderful colleges in India, and the career is very good in terms of like when you study there. But the masters in Western country, especially in US, is a completely different animal. If you are not willing to put so much effort, please do not try. I have seen a lot of people in the last 20 years who wants to do MS, and they spent a lot of money and they don't want to actually put the effort. Some of them renewed and went back, or some of them changed the courses after 4 semesters and did that again, or found a job in software industry and migrated back to software. It's all okay. as long as you consciously decide that is what you want to do. In terms of MTech in India, it is very tough. You have to. It is very theory oriented. The difference is what we feel, at least like what I felt is in most of the universities and colleges that I work with during my 20 years of research with multiple universities. Most of the masters in the Western University, in US University, are all dependent on doing live projects where you actually start working on live requirements and real projects and real problem and finding realistic solutions, real engineering solutions. That gives you a lot of experience and exposure to improve your skill levels to another range. You are completely ready to work. When doing an MTech also, you are very, very, very good in terms of your theory, your knowledge. The only thing I think it is going to be tough for you is you will not be able to find a job with your MTech coming into a Western country. If you're going to be working in India, there are a lot of opportunities in India as well these days. You should be able to find them. And some of the IIT master's courses that I see, and also even an Anand University master's courses and PhD courses are really, really, really innovative, for the lack of better word. They are all very connected with what is happening in globally, and they also bring all their experience in terms of the global information and finding different projects together to do them. So why people do MBA? I always get asked that question. Should I do MBA or MTech? What do you think? Or MS? What I tell them is this. During your engineering, basic concepts. The master's is one level higher. You study advanced applications of the concepts, and realistic problems are solved at master's level. That's what people are expecting you to do. Once you understand the application, you the commercial implications of it and how to turn it into a commercial venture. That is the next level. You study engineering, you apply it, you master it, and then you go to the commercial implication. That's what the people who have MBA are trying to do. If you go directly into MBA without any experience in real-time university or real-time job, then you don't know what exactly is the commercial value in real life. Whatever you study in book is not going to give you that experience and knowledge that you experience by working in an industry and seeing what is the problem the customer is facing and how your product or a service is solving the problem, so you are commercial fitted, and how different teams work together in an organization. So you can think about HR management, how the supply chain is organized in a big company, so you would be able to appreciate supply chain management in MBA very well. Or similarly, accounting structure, similarly operations management. There are a lot of different things, data science management in real-time industry, or even petrochemical industry. The automation and the data sciences are becoming really big deal right now. So, but what I suggest to you guys is, before you go into masters, work fairly, even at low salary, for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. Okay, at least 2 years. You learn as much as you can how your concepts are getting used, and then you become expert in the next level of finding your own concepts, coming up with unique solutions, or coming up with unique way of solving things. Okay, so these are the things for the masters. So why you do masters is going to be up to you, but just don't think you are doing masters only you didn't get a job after finishing your bachelor. You have to do masters only you really want to do, and also you have some experience, and you can decide what kind of masters you want to do, and the core area of research, and what kind of projects you want to do, what kind of problems you want to solve. Have some reference from a real term industry by working in it. Okay, I know Dharini among you told she wants to get a job immediately, and that is most of the people are interested in. So, what is the job options for you in this kind of scenario? In where the industry is global, you can really get a job globally everywhere, but you are not going to get into a global position before you have a very strong profile. You show them that you will be able to deliver in a very, very, very high level of standard of work quality. So how would you get that? So you choose some company, small or big, it doesn't matter. You make sure you learn everything about it, and you know what the people are doing, not just you, even the people next to you. I still remember, somebody told me that I would not be able to trace all the line inside the refinery when I joined in Asian Peroxides Limited in '99. I took it as I mean, we all know, right? How one cannot do something. Really ego clash and said, you know what? I will prove you wrong and I will learn it. So me and another friend, we learned each and every valve, each and every pipeline, each and every fitting inside the entire plant. It took us like 1.5 to 2.5 months, and we spent at least like 3 hours or 4. We were very comfortable with all the valves, all the fittings, all the flows within a couple of months. And then we found out, usually people take like more than 6 months or 8 months to do that. The motivation was not our willingness to learn at that time. I will be very honest. The motivation was to prove someone of my friends wrong. So whatever is your motivation in your job, the first job, you have to remember that is a stepping stone for your career. How you learn in the first job or the first 5 years or 6 years is going to determine your entire life. I want to say it again. The first 5 years of your job is going to determine the entire life or your entire career. So saying that, what is that you can do differently? One, understand what kind of work is being done. Two, how you can keep on working and completing the action item. At the end of the day, most of the work is about completing the task. Do one task at a time and keep on following up and finish the jobs in time. That is what your boss is expecting you to do. Three, continuously learning how to do your job better. And another thing, very important thing, is how to communicate with others. It is not about your English. It is not about your writing skills. It is not about how good you look or how good you don't look. It is about how good you are in developing that relationship. There is a recent study that came up. Most of the people get their big breaks in the career down the line, not initially, at least down the line, because they were having very good relationship with their context. We are talking about 80 to 85% of the people say that. And people not in an ordinary position, people in senior managers, senior directors, senior vice president, even up to CEO level, they all got their breaks because they had wonderful relationships and they were really good in solving as a team. Okay, so when you have that in your mind, the job opportunities in front of you are oil and gas upstream industry, which is usually the drilling, exploration, and producing crude oil from under the ground. That is all upstream. Midstream industry is where the crude that you underground is transported and held in huge tanks, for the lack of a better word, and barrels, and transported to downstream refineries and petrochemicals. Midstream is kind of a holding capacity, warehouse for holding crude oil. You can imagine that way. Downstream has two things. One is the refinery that produces gasoline and diesel, and second one is petrochemicals that produces polymers and plastics for almost 100,000 different kind of things that you use, from seat cushion to paint to iPhone covers and Samsung covers, the phone itself is completely made of like probably 90%. Whatever is not metal is probably made of organic. It all came from crude. Even if it is synthetic, probably the raw materials of the synthetic came from the crude oil. Okay. So has a lot and lot of options for you. We will separately talk about like different options in the industry if you guys are interested. I told Professor Narayan separate 4 or 5 of you are interested, we can form like informal chat and I would be able to give you more help. So we'll definitely try that. But if you are interested, I can talk more about the job separately as like another half an hour call in a different time. But I want to just to show you what are the opportunities you have here. One in the industry, and second is the EPC and the consultant. Why I have that separate is India is one of the very big source of EPC and consulting workforce globally. Even if I go to Houston, I don't see anybody of Indian heritage or Indian in real time, like a technician and laborers and also like the people, pipe workers and actual people, operations team. But when I go to the office and engineering headquarters or meetings, almost like I see a lot of people are from India. Engineering and procurement and project construction company, those kind of company also are very, very famous in India, and they are globally competing in a lot of different projects. Engineers India Limited is BAG, L&T. Those are companies, they are really growing in the international area. If you want exposure, Engineers India Limited, EIL, based out of Delhi, is one of the very good place for you to work. Apart from that, consulting is a very good option too, like ABB, Dow, DuPont, Honeywell, BP, Chevron, like a lot of different companies are there where you can be a consulting company person also. In either controls or automation or different kinds of other areas like data science is improving. And then consumer industry is also a place where like a lot of chemical engineers are being hired to utilize their strength in controlling the quality and controlling the raw material and make sure there is all compliance is in place. And finally, the public sector. You all know public sectors, government jobs in terms of utility sector, water, wastewater, sewage treatment, it all handled by either environmental engineers or high-level engineers in planning, execution, these projects. We are talking about projects worth of millions and millions and billions of dollars. There is a recent award that went to Veolia, a big French company, for the largest sewage water treatment facility that is 20 minutes from center of Delhi. And that was close to $450 million project just for the first 2 years or 5 years. It can go up to like another $300, $400 million worth of project, one project. So environmental agencies is like Pollution Control Board. They use a lot of engineers and mechanical engineers as well, where you will be coming up with the regulations. We will be coming up with unique way of testing pollutants, coming up with how you are going to monitor industrial waste or emissions. Okay. So how much time I have, Naren? Am I taking too much?
So we can take questions. I think maybe you can stop in another 10 minutes. Is this okay?
Yeah, I will finish it up. I have only like 2 or 3 more slides. I just wanted to stop. Okay?
Yeah, because then I think we can take questions. Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll stop in 3 minutes. So the final options for you, we saw about the options in front of you, right? We saw this is all you have. You have studies, you have work, and you have a business. So we start a master's, what you can do, and you have the odd jobs, how you will be able to do. And then these are the 4 options that you can start a business. If you are really, really good in developing relationship, developing contacts and marketing and sales, and you don't have shyness in you, I think you are good for business development. There are multiple things that you need to know about starting your own business, but we can talk more in detail about coming up with a product, coming up with the target customer. What are the channels you need to utilize to reach the target customer? what are the resources that you need to do in your place, and how would you manage the funding, who are all in your partnerships in terms of technology partners, human resources partner, market outreach partner, those kind of partnerships you need to have. And then revenue generation. The revenue generation, utilizing revenues that you raise either by yourself or from others, is going to be the core uh, part of you having your own business. Without money, you cannot do much, unless it is a service. Okay? So what we are talking about so far, what next? Irrespective of whatever you decide, I'm coming to the core end of the, end of the presentation. Either you do the masters, either you do a job, or you want to do a business. What you should think about is you have to start focusing on your profile. What is your profile of the skills that you have? How good you are in academics? How much experience you have? What kind of education that you've got in terms of application of your academic. Your education and college are not the same. Do not ever mix it. Makes you apply to the real-term problems. That is going to make you very smart in terms of the industry, or what we call street smart. And then how much exposure you have by working in industry, or by reading about the industry, how much knowledge you already have about what is happening or what is going on in the industry. These are the things for you to build a profile that is very, very, very good. And it's like really, really, my look at it, I want to say, okay, I want to hire this person. Oh, I want to work with this person. I want to buy from this person. That is how your profile should stand out. So forget about you being not very good in technical area, because that is only number 2, academics. That doesn't mean much. That is not everything. Your skills, your experience and exposure can make up even the lack of academic strength that you have. But eventually you have, if you choose now or later, you have to study. Otherwise, it is nothing. And a person who's sitting outside the bus stop, say, okay, let's solve it with acid. Let's add a little bit more caustic. Oh, let's flow it at 20 gallons a minute, 20 meter cube per hour. If you say something randomly to solve a problem, whatever the meaning it has to me, industry will have, that is the same meaning that you will also, or value you will also have if you don't have the knowledge. One way or the other, if you are going to be in the core industry, you need to have knowledge. The only good thing is once you go into the core industry, then you will know exactly where you have to study and you can focus. Now that you don't know, so whatever you study, you need to understand. When I say knowledge about the technical, let me be very clear. I'm not talking about how much, I am talking about how much you have understood the concept. You can easily search a particular equation and the derivation and applicability and limits of it in Google or any other search engine on your computer. But what it will not give you is the basic understanding of the concept, how to solve it, how to look for it. That is something you will not ever have time to keep on learning. You have to get there. So from today onwards, when you learn something, forget about you memorizing the equation or solving the big solution. What I want you to know is why it is useful, how it is useful, what can I do with it? Am I understanding the basic? Does it make sense to me? Those are the questions you should be asking, either it's a mass transfer, heat transfer, studying about fluid dynamics, or advanced reaction engineering. It doesn't matter, like biotechnology. All these things you will be using if you go into the core field, in your core. You have to understand the concept. You will not have too much time to learn concepts again and again. So you have to understand the concepts and basics. Okay? So now that you're decided, People say like, so why I am different? Why that I need to, I am stuck here and somebody else is getting there. So what I'm saying simply is that once you decide what you want to do, you set a target. I want to do masters. I want to do MTech. No, I want to get a job in Reliance. I want to get a job in Chennai, or I can get a job as a process engineer. Whatever is your target, set up a target, and then understand what is the effort that you need to do to achieve that target. But you will be able to constantly work for it. If you don't even have the target and you don't know how to get it, you are just putting a random effort thinking that you are going to be successful. You even, I keep on saying that to people, like, even when you go in the evening outside your home to a tea shop and have a tea, you have already your mindset of which tea shop you want to go, what kind of drink that you want to order, what kind of snack you want to eat, who you want to come with you. You decide everything. If an income, like in a really, really inconsequential, small drinking tea or having a snack or going to a hotel is that important to you that you plan so much, why your life is not important? All you have to do is first set a target. Like me, Professor Narayan, or anybody else in your seniors, or somebody who has done that already, to figure out what is required. If you don't know it, if you know it already, yeah, it's well and good. And consistent effort. You cannot solve the problem just by putting effort only on the last day. You have to consistently work for it. That is the difference between really, really successful people and not successful people. They consistently put the effort and they constantly evaluate and then review. And most of the people say, oh, I want to do 6 months, I don't want to do masters. I want to go for a job. That is perfectly all right. I have changed my role and career in the industry for at least like 7 or 8 times in the 20 years. And most of the time it is because, like, the role, I saw something little bit better. Oh my God, little bit better. And I have to put a little bit more effort. But it never starts. So what I'm telling you is, it is completely all right for you to change what you are working on, and what is your target, and what is your goal, and what do you want to achieve. You can keep on changing as long as at any point of time when somebody talks to you, you know what is your goal at that particular time. Okay? So this is the last stage. Okay? So what is your conclusion? What I'm telling you is, first start evaluating yourself. Okay? So when you evaluate yourself, then only you will know what you're good at. And then you go for knowing your options. What is in front of you? What is that you can easily do? Or what is that if you difficultly do, and how you are going to do it? Set up goals for that and start working now. Okay? Thank you so much. This is all we. So whatever questions you have, let's go ahead and start it.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Anand. That's fantastic. So I think you can stop screen sharing, and so that you can see the questions also in the chat simultaneously. Yeah, okay. You can stop the screen sharing. Yeah, you can stop your screen sharing.
My screen share. So let me do that. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. So yeah. So now, if you see your chat box, are you seeing the chat box?
I am seeing the chat box. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So here the questions. I have asked the students to put the questions. So okay. I would just request to probably read the question and tell the name of the person, and then you can answer it.
Okay. So the first question is from Srinivasan. Yes. A common view that I got from whatever experience I had from people who are doing masters is that immediately after UG. And the reason I hear is that they get settled with the job or get attracted by pay. And simultaneously, I see universities asking whether applicant has previous experience in any company. How do you see this? Okay, Srinivasan, I think you have studied for the last almost 17 years of your life. It's all about you reading something. I think the best way for you to appreciate the masters is work at least a year or two in industry or any place where consulting companies or public industries or research and development, even engineering firms. You will have a value for what is what you have studied. If you don't know the application, you don't appreciate what you're studying, in my opinion. So please consider strongly against doing a master's immediately after your bachelor's. Work at least for 1 to 3 years. Be really good in engineering. Learn a lot in terms of what actually is happening in industry. Be good at it. Go to the next level and then come and do your master's. Okay? Yes. Srinivasan, is it okay?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you can go to the next question.
Okay, good. Okay. So next one is Akash. There is some specific skill you would want to present chemical engineers to have core jobs. I can give you detailed talk on skills that people expect in jobs. Okay. First thing, job is communication. That aluda koyandeki paal kudikam, right? That is really applicable anywhere you go. The more you talk, the more and more you forcefully bring all your points to the table, then you will even be considered. So what I want people to do is, the communication is not about English. Let's forget about English. Not everybody in the world talk English. Okay, I studied in a very ordinary government school where I was taught in Tamil. So everything was taught actually in Tamil. Okay, so it took me a very interesting journey for me to be good in my communication. But I was never afraid of talking even when I'm wrong. So what I want you guys to do is start communicating with conviction, with real conviction and information. You cannot just keep on talking. So the communication skill is the best thing. Reading skill, writing skill, and report, literature research, and also team management, time management. These are the skills that we typically look for. How good is this person going to work in the team? Project management is another skill as well. So if we consistently getting lower marks, this just indicates that the person cannot concentrate, or he is just did not care about finishing the task. That is what a project management team person would do. Okay. So how to know my core strength? Narayan, this is something you can do easily. Can you do a lab experiment easily? Can you read a book easily and write? Or can you understand concepts easily? Can you work with others easily? Can you talk to others easily? Which one comes to you naturally? Some people don't want to talk to other people. That is, so communication or being in a core strength for them. So each and everyone has some people can do wonderful graphs and understand data really well. Some people are very meticulous. They do everything consistently every day in terms of project management. So you need to identify your core strength. If it is not the case, you have trouble. So you need to talk to somebody who can help you identify your core strength. Okay. Hariharan, can I please ask my question orally? Hariharan Sivakumar. Yeah, please go ahead, Hariharan.
Yeah. I guess it's afternoon there. Good afternoon, sir. Yeah. So myself, I'm Hariharan, and I'm in Australia. I'm doing my master's here in chemical engineering. So I haven't taken any specialization. I'm just doing master's in chemical engineering. I have another 6 months to complete the course. So I have two questions for you. The first one is right now, current situation, the whole world is facing a pandemic. So, how am I, as a person who's going to graduate in 6 months, how am I supposed to face this new
Mm-hmm.
situation? How am I supposed to market myself in this kind of situation for finding a job? So that's my first question. And secondly, I graduated in 2018 from Sastra. So once I graduated, I did an internship with chemical industry for about 4 months. The thing is, that in particular
Okay.
internship was for 1 year, but then I identified that that was not my kind of work, so I quit in 4 months. Right, so I
Okay.
eliminated industrial works, means working in shifts, because it was not suitable for me. I eliminated that and I chose to do masters next. So I did my masters now,
Okay.
and in my masters I was able to eliminate that I'm not a person who's going to like doing a PhD. So
Okay. That is
I
good.
sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I came to know that the only option that I have is to the thing is, I do not have an exposure to industries, in experience in industries. The only option
Okay.
I have is to go via a consultancy. So what is your opinion on that? What should I do? What do you think is a best career for me?
Okay. So thing is about the current situation. Okay. Chemical engineering industry is definitely affected, but the downstream and petrochemical industry is not that affected. What I would suggest for you is, like, if you are going to grad months,
Mhm.
first find what is that you want to do. You already know, like, you are not good. You said, like, you are not interested doing operations job. So focus on R&D or process or technical jobs or engineering jobs or consulting company jobs where you would be able to get in and do what you want to do. Two, see who are all your in these companies and start getting their profile they do day to day. And then make sure whatever they say in terms of their profile, whatever keywords they are using when describing their work to you, make sure you put that in your resume and add that in your key and a skill. For example, someone is using Aspen every day. So you make sure you learn Aspen or at least get the basic information on Aspen, and then you are ready to utilize Aspen when you are getting hired. Or take a certification course. Nowadays, learning is very easy with a lot of software and other portals in the place. So one, find target your area of work. Two, change your resume to make sure your area of work has all right information. Build up your relationship. Start networking right now. You have to network, like,
Yeah.
it's going to take like 3 to 6 months. Start networking or do LinkedIn profiles and take a look and see where these people that you want to go are working and send information. I can tell you, out of the information, the request that you send, 80% of the people will not respond to you. Do not get dissatisfied or do not get dejected. Okay, don't get dejected.
Yes, sir.
Their job is not you to get back to you. You also don't get to you. If everybody in the street is talking to you, would you be talking to them? That
No.
doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, it happens in the LinkedIn world also. Do not. So you will get some kind of feedback if you
Mhm.
consistently do that. Okay.
Yep.
The second part of this is that is on the pandemic. The second part
Yeah.
is you were talking about what were you saying? The question was precisely what?
Yeah, so I eliminated off that I don't want to work in an industry. So I eliminated that I don't want to do a PhD. Right
Yeah,
now,
that is correct.
yeah,
Okay. The PhD, if you don't want to do PhD, if you're doing masters, you can definitely get a good break in multiple industry, but you need to start looking for which industry, which kind of job, like right away. So start
I'm right
applying
now
for that
thinking of consultancies.
consultancy, then, like, develop some networks in consultancies and start talking to them and see what kind of skills they're expecting. So even if you get dejected or rejected in the first 2 or 3 interviews, keep on attending that. That will make you more strong. One key thing I want everybody to take away is the first few times you are going to try anything in your life, you are going to not have a great success. The success is determined only by how persistently you are following up and how persistently you are learning to get to a position where you are going to be successful. I had huge troubles in 2001, 2002, people in US. And most of my life in here, I work only in small installations and areas where they did not have good access and education. So they're talking in local slangs and most of the time. So we had communication problems in almost 5 to 10. So that to come out of that, it takes some time and energy. So you have to consistently put your effort to get to a point where you want it. Not just you, almost everybody else involved in this here. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Was
much.
the answer? Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, Mr. Anand, before you go to the next question, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Before you
Go
go to
ahead.
the before you go to the next question, I just want to take that last phrase that you used. Like success is not something which is immediate, but it is over a period. But having said so, in this today's very connected digital world, and because of peer pressure, there's always a constant comparison between somebody's uncle or son, பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்காரன் son, எதிர்த்த வீட்டு பொண்ணு, and so on and so forth. Even if I don't want to do, there will be like a lot of comparisons. Avanapar, Avalapar, or whatever it is, on Attapanapar, Chittapa Painapar, or whatever it is like that. And also it could be internal. Sometimes these are all from external peer pressures, and sometimes it is internal peer pressure. What I mean by internal is என் கூட தான் அவனும் படிச்சான், அவன் கிளாஸ்ல 10 மார்க் கூட வாங்க மாட்டான், இன்னைக்கு அவன் எங்கேயோ இருக்கான், பட் நான் அவ்வளோலாம் படிச்சேன், நான் இன்னும் வளரலையே. So my question is, I do understand that we need to have a reasonable time in any activity or industry or job or any work. Without spending a reasonable time, I mean, we should not anticipate success. I mean, you cannot estimate the success without spending a reasonable time, or even before quitting something, we need to spend a reasonable time, right? So, but this, I want your advice on this for the current graduates, because if you tell, it may reach more empathetically to them. Yeah,
good.
Go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is this, okay, guys, that your goals are wrong. For example, when you are graduating, you want to have probably like a 5 crores worth of car within 2 years. You are going to set yourself up for failure. What we want to make sure is success is not about a destination. It is a continuous journey. You need to constantly work towards it. The only part how you are constantly moving forward towards your goal. The goal currently should be, okay, getting to a job. Okay, so getting to a job is goal, but are you putting enough effort in developing the contacts, developing the network, building up, learning the skills that are required, making sure that you are preparing for the interview. Interview preparation is a very big skill that like people always get choked up in talking in front of people. Effort in that particular target, you are not going to be as successful as you want. You are still going to be successful. Okay, so the first mindset is have your goals smaller. Make sure you put effort towards your goal. You also quantify how much work you have put towards your goal and is it meaningful, and you evaluate yourself in terms of, are we working towards it? Is it make value out of it? If you do that, I'm sure you will only be moving forward. So if you still feel failing, your goal is completely wrong and it is not matching your passion, it is so unrealistic that it is not going to be met. And third one is you are not putting enough effort. There's only 3 things. Okay?
Yeah. So once again, before you go to the next, this is just a connected point. I just want to bridge it. So between the rate of growth and the direction of growth, like how fast you grow, in what direction you grow, what is your
Yeah.
advice to the graduates?
Okay. This is all about, like I told you, right? Like me and my friend who's from Cuddalore, we all wanted different things in our lives. For the first few years after me working in industry, I still work like that. Um, I have not slept for more than 4 or 5 hours a day for at least like 7 years. I used to go to office at 7 o'clock in the morning. Most of the time I had breakfast, lunch, evening snack, and my colleagues used to ask me, okay, is it a lunch bag? The lunch bag is bigger than your actual bag that you're coming with. So, but I tell them, you know what? I am not married. I'm single. My friends are available on the phone. I can talk to them on the cell phone anytime I want, and I'm here. This is something that I never have problem in learning. So I'm going to keep on working. And that I actually joined my previous company as actually a technician. They were not even looking for an opportunity for an engineer at that point, and I was also not looking for a job in that particular city. And I was going somewhere else because I already had an interview and I was going to get a job there actually. So they said, okay, why don't you help us for 3 days or 4 days? I said, 3 days or 4 days, money they're going to give me. Okay, why not? I'm going to just to sit and going to eat, and then you know what happened? And then I became from a technician to engineer. Within 5 years, I became a director in engineering department. But we put lot of heavy, like me and my team, to get to the next level. But I wanted that consciously. This is what I want. So one, you need to consciously know what you want to do, and you have to make the choice, and you have to work towards it. The rate is going to be, you will feel as if the rate is much smaller when you actually, if you are still not progressing, I suggest you talk to somebody expert in the field who would be able to tell you that either you have effort or what is wrong. That is what the mentors come in place. That's why in our company we always work with the new guys or even the young guys 5-year, 10-year experience, work with somebody like me, so we know where exactly they are going, how exactly they need to see the bigger picture to get the project successful. So that is up for the rate of growth as well. Consistent effort, really, really hard work. There is no replacement for hard work. And then be nice to everybody. Your network is going to determine your career. Your colleagues as well as your juniors. How many times I cannot count how many times I got some very good offer from my juniors.
Good.
So
Fantastic.
Be nice to everybody that you find in your life.
Yeah, thank you. So you can go to the question of Jairam.
Jairam, I don't see a question from Jairam. I see Hari.
That
Wow,
is
there are so
after
many questions.
Hariharan.
I have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have a idea of pursuing PG after an industrial experience of 3 years. Yeah, if you have Jairam, I think I saw you briefly. You came on the screen. If you do for 3 years, you make sure that 3 years count. If you are just going to be when we call in Chennai, are you working in AGS office and do nothing, eat bhaji 2 times and bonda 2 times and have 3 times snack, and you are going to sign one single paper and you are not going to learn anything from it, then you are wasting time. Have meaningful target for yourself. Okay, I'm going to work for 3 years, but this is what I'm going to learn. This is what I will be when I come out 3 years, so I can choose my master's or go my MBA after that. You need to have some strong target to what you want to achieve for the 3 years. After that, you do really good for you. And Anand Chemical Engineering has become multidisciplinary in most acads. For instance, becoming part biotech, nanotech, and so on. Is there an avenue for core chemical engineering in terms of reactor separation process and fluid flow, hydrodynamics? In my experience, in the last 10 years, most of the reactor separation process and the fluid hydrodynamics are going to go into an expansion mode. Most of the industry are designed when even our grandparents were not born. and they're all just limping along and sustaining the last bit of the lifeblood in them. They're all going through debottlenecking or expansion to meet the demand in the population, or coming up with completely revolutionary technology that the old systems are not good. So one, what you need to do is identify how you are good in basics. That is completely something that you start learning about how to integrate new things like advancement in biotechnology, data science, automation and instrumentation, AI, all right, artificial intelligence, controls, and reviewing information from real-time experiments or pilot trials, how to take that into integrating and building your own system, either it is a separator or building a new pump or like expanding low capacity of a cooling tower pump. Cooling tower pumps are really big deal in a refinery. They flow a little bit close to 8,000 or 15,000 meter cube per hour. The flow is, you can see a city with it. Okay, so those pumps is a completely different scenario. They have people managing that. So when you focus on that, like start identifying the problem. You are not going to get a job or you are not going to be good because you learn something. The whole concept in industrial world and job world is you are solving somebody else's problem. You need to identify the problem and how to apply the concept to solve the problem. Be the good thing, either in biotech or nanotech or carbon, or like coming up with MBBR or a new technology, or even some new catalyst or separation processes. That's where it's going to be. How you're solving the current day problem or expansion, or coming up with efficiency, or like identifying the data and have controls in place. Does it answer your question, Narayan?
Yeah. So that means
finally, at present.
Yeah, you can go to the question of Dharini.
Okay, that at present in this COVID situation, how will be the job opportunity for us final years to try off campus? One must expect to be in terms of technical knowledge as well as general skills. Dharini, desperate times need desperate or like extraordinary measures. What I would do is I would get like 10 or 15 people together and figure out what kind of chemical industries, what kind of jobs are there in different cities, and attack one city at a time and send your information together. So they say, right, if you try together, you will leverage each and everyone's strengths in getting to the final solution. So you go there, you figure out what all the opportunities in front of it, what kind of profile is required, what is their expectations in terms of the people, in terms of education, experience and exposure, or skills, and you make sure your resume or your profile is going to be representative of that and approach. 2013 pass out batch, Vidya Shankar. I'm currently working as a process design engineer in EPSC company based in Singapore. I previously worked in core industries for nearly 6 years and now ventured in design engineering. How do I streamline myself in the way ahead in my career ahead and regarding opportunities and development? Whether MBA can give me extra edge to grow further. MBA is definitely going to help you. But before you do that, I want you to take a look at what do you mean by growth? Okay, are you an engineer? You want to become a senior manager, or you want to be head of the. Once you identify where you want to go, then you identify what is that they are doing better than you. So for you to go to the next level, they are not to give it to you because you are there in the industry for a long time. An engineer cannot become a manager unless people are convinced that either he is doing a manager's job or he has the capability to do the manager's job. Sense to you. Okay? About your question. So you need to prove that you are ready to go to the next level. For that, you identify the next level. You identify the requirements of the next level. and you learn about the things that you are going to go from the level 1 to level 2 and demonstrate it consistently with motivation and MBA is very good, but MBA is going to give you the business sense in the engineering world. Unless you are going to completely go into marketing or operation or human resources, or supply chain management, or even general administration, or running the entire company, your MBA is not going to directly affect you being a designer. Just because you did an MBA, you are not going to get a job in some other company in supply chain management, for example, unless you have an experience in supply chain also. Okay, so you learn, you get, and then the academics is only just a small of it. MBA is a part of it. You will learn a lot of useful tools, useful techniques, and useful concepts for you to apply. But you also need to have some experience and exposure to the industry to get that opening, or at least have a network to get that. And also, you are not going to start at very high level. You might have worked as a design engineer for 7 years, but you did the MBA only later. You are still going to start after your MBA a little bit fresher. That is a mindset you need to have. What are the things? I think we are getting to end, right? What are the things that we must be strong at to get hired? Dharini, I think you need to be strong in basics to start with. So at this point of time, all your identities is your chemical engineering skill. Your chemical engineering skill needs to be the primary motivation. Okay? So have your business, good communication skills, and also good networking and all other experience and exposure. You will become one of the primary candidates for any job. Okay, suitable for girls. Okay, girls, I think, I don't know if India changed whether girls can work in the night shift, especially in the petrochemical. I know for sure, the mining has not done it yet, but I think you will be able to start working recently, is what I hear. Because till 2015, I know, even in Kane India and other petrochemicals, where we work in day shift, night shift all the time, we prefer that they have the mandate saying that the girls have to go back at 10 o'clock. So I would prefer, go into operations, but general operations or design operations or engineering operations or project management. These are things that, you would be able to do really well. Akash, is the profile I got, you have done your MTech in chemical engineering and doing your MBA now. Is there any specific goal in that? I myself want to have both masters, but if not both widely. MBA gives business value. Masters in engineering gives technical value. So now you understood the concept. You keep on applying the concept. Now you expand the concept and apply it in different way and make sure you manage the whole team. That is the kind of flexibility to do. What the business level people at the same time, they will take this and commercialize it and make sure that the whole organization is working in tandem with the principle of this particular new invention or engineering skill. So the business is taking one level separate or above after you understand the implications of skill is profitable and how you work with other people. That is the MBA's job. So in business development and marketing support, and I've been able, I wanted to start my own my company. I'm consulting and I have my own company. So it gives me a lot of knowledge and tools and techniques that I will be able to use to manage my fund and talk to people and make my organization work together. This is why I'm doing it. I wish I want to be in the core, but no company came placement for core. So I had to opt to work for non-core. What is your take? Yeah, that is completely understandable. Guys, nobody born in this world to be a chemical engineer. You became chemical engineer or you 4 years ago. It's not your defining moment in your life. If you want to be a software professional or control logic or even a banker, there is one engineer in our bank, our batch, who's now working in a bank as a manager. So what you're going to become in your life has nothing to do with what you studied. As long as you do justice to your education, you are be good at what you do. Okay?
No, this is Anand. This is another perspective. Hello.
Sorry, go ahead. Yes, Narayanan. I didn't hear that.
This is in another perspective, because many times if you ask the final year graduates, if the companies don't come for placement, if the core company does come for placement, it's not like they wanted to go for a non-core company. அதாவது எனக்கு ஸ்பிக் இன்டர்வியூ வந்தா நல்லா இருந்திருக்கும், எனக்கு சன்மார் இன்டர்வியூ வந்தா நல்லா இருந்திருக்கும். ஐ மீன், if the companies have come to placement, I would have opted. அது வரல, so I have no other option, எனக்கு இதுதான் கிடைச்சது, so I have like kind of வேற வழி இல்ல அப்படின்னு. So that means that element of going out and then searching. I mean, you must have graduated, become jobless at the time of graduation because placement did not come. But then if you want to take core, you have to go search, right?
That is exactly the case.
Or is it like that, or like வேற வழி இல்ல, நான் பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் ஃபைனல் இயர்ல எனக்கு எந்த கெமிக்கல் கம்பெனியுமே வரல, சோ எனக்கு இதுதான் வந்தது நான் கோர், சோ அதனால நான் இதை எடுத்துட்டேன். How you see this paradigm perspective? That's what I'm asking.
There are two aspects, right? Like, one is you really motivated to find a job in chemical engineering and you just did not get it. And whatever is the first job, use for the second job. And you can get back into the core is what I'm going to tell you. That is completely understandable. If you are so motivated to do in a core job, take whatever job, learn the skills as team communication, learning about something, all those things are going academics, and your knowledge is only a part of you experienced person in job industry. We see the person's stability, his ability to reliability in terms of providing and churning out consistent work quality. That is something that you have to learn in any job that you're going to go. So don't get, first one point is, don't get disappointed that you had to go somewhere else and you probably found a job outside your core, but you can still come back at any point of time with very strong work skill and with brushing up your basics and get to the next level. But apart from that, what I was trying to tell you is, so you found this job and this is something that you love, but don't feel that you are doing something completely unpatriotic. You are not doing something wrong, is what I'm trying to tell you. It is okay if you don't get a job. Before you do that switch, what I want you to also to know, at this point of time, your identity is a chemical engineer. You are a chemical engineer. So when you go into a bank job or like in a software job or a supply chain job, you don't have any identity. They don't care if you have a chemical engineering degree or not. The degree is only for them to have a scale of, can you understand and communicate better and do the work in a proper way or not? That is all your degree is good for. But before you go there, you make sure you turn every stone. Don't leave any stone unturned and pursue all the options to get a job. I'm sorry, I'm getting so dry in my throat. I've been talking so long.
No, you can take water.
What is that? No, it's okay, no problem. So what I'm trying to tell you is, before you make the switch, try really hard. But if after that you didn't get, don't get dejected. You can always come back.
Yeah. You can go to the next, Gokul's question.
Gokul Nath. Okay, I'm eager to know how a chemical engineer could grow and learn in a biopharma industry. Engineers are very good in terms of production to operation.
Yeah, he is now working in Biocon, by the way.
Oh, by the way. Oh, sorry. Okay. If you are already there, from gaining a pharma experience, how the career path could be to build further. So Gokul Nath, like, if you are an engineer, then what I would say is how you can become head of your career path. So how you can become the engineering head, or design head, or for process head, or R&D head. So for you to go to the next level, so like I said before, identify first what is your organization structure, identify who are all there, and identify what kind of jobs they do. So is a manager there, so what exactly does he do every day that is different than what you do? If what you do is and he does is the same, then it means that he's just good at what he's doing. So you have to get there. But if he is trying to do something completely different, learn it. By learning it and doing it is where you are going to get to the next level in your career. But understand the organization structure to see how they are connected with each other, and what is the job description and the profile of each and every person who is there. That will give you an idea of what you need to do to get to that level. Okay, Gokulnath? And please share your LinkedIn profile. Okay, my God. Okay, LinkedIn profile. I have not worked on my LinkedIn profile almost for 3 years now. But I'll say the problem is not that, Naren. The problem is when I say that, and I did this project and I came up with this product, all my competitors take and run away with it. So we don't give away the secrets on what kind of projects that we work on and what kind of new things that we are doing, unless till it has become really, no one is going to benefit from it.
Right. Yeah,
that is why most of the real paper presentation are the same way, guys, real paper presentation in AICSE and all these things. Those are all when we go and sit there, we know, okay, this has been there for 4 years. This is useless for me. What the heck is he talking? So,
right. Yeah. Next question of PG.
Vigneshwar.
No, the one before that.
Sir, it is Oh, Hariharan Sivakumar again. Please, can you share my LinkedIn profile?
No, after that, PG Aditya.
Already.
PG.
Yeah, PG Aditya. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay. Sir, is it possible to switch core jobs if one takes upon non-core job? Yes, you can definitely do that. You just have to be patient. You are not going to be super successful when you change the job. That is applicable for anybody. But keep on brushing up your skills and make sure you understand the new job where you're going to switch to, and you keep up with the requirements of it. And you keep on understanding the profile, the basic knowledge, and also your concepts where you can apply that you will be very, very valuable in the new job as well. 2020 batch. Sir, presently I'm working on a project where I need to filter out very fine particles of 0.4 suspension of dilute nitric acid. Can you share your mail ID? So, okay, sure, definitely, Vigneshwar. So it is all materials or fiber that can filter out in 0.4 micron, which is submicron, almost close to Brownian motion. 0.3 micron is Brownian motion, right? So 0.4 micron, very, very few filters are there, and it is very expensive when you go to submicron level, and especially when working in acidic environment, which means that most of the standard material of construction is gone. You cannot use that. You have to go with something completely different. I will check. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, with this Anand, it's a good. We are almost close to 2 hours now.
Oh my God! Really?
Mani 9:30 We started at 8 o'clock. Right? So I have to.
My mouth. I don't close my mouth.
No. It is really nice. As I said, more than the interaction session, the element of coming back to the alumni is the foremost thing which I want the present graduates to take up, so that after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they should come back and give it to the set over there. So I'll just take some 2 or 3 closing comments from the students so that you can hear them. Ninga பேசுனது எவ்வளவு reach ஆச்சுன்னு let us hear.
Yeah, right. That is what exactly I want to do, because it doesn't matter how I talk, how bad I talk, how good I talk. Okay, it matters only what you gleaned from it, gained from it.
So I would ask probably Vidyashankar. He wants to give. Vidyashankar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can carry on.
Hi. Hello.
Sir, it was really interesting. I'm very happy to see such a senior most person talking to us, and it was really very informative for us. And I still feel that
Thank you.
when I was like junior at the time, there was no such senior to tell us that these are the things that you can do, and this way you can channelize your future career and this and all. So I think
I know.
current generation, they are very happy with the way you have spoke and you have enlightened them. And even I have asked the question and you gave me some good replies too. Hope I will find it now. And in case in future I have any queries, I will definitely keep in touch with you.
Yeah, sure, definitely. I mainly what I wanted to do with Vidya Shankar is that I wanted to reach out and help people from sections of the society because I am from one. We were living almost in borderline poverty, and I went to a government school with no English spoken by anybody, and it was a major hurdle for me. And I'm the first graduate in my entire family. I'm the first person ever crossed the India border. I'm still like, all my cousins say, okay, you have gone, so my mom is making my life miserable, like in tune of what Narayan is saying. So I said, okay, yeah, that is not a problem. Anyway.
Right.
That means
Yeah.
So
So
this is
you
just
are
like
still a
paying
great
back.
example. You are such a great example for every one of us.
No, like I'm just making their life miserable even with not being with them.
And when you
yeah.
said
So
about regarding the industries and everything, I'm just again recollecting what and all happened in my life, everything. So everything
Oh,
contributed to do. It's really great, sir. Thank you very much.
you're
yeah.
very
Thanks,
welcome.
Vidya Shankar. Yeah. So anyone else who wants to just unmute and talk?
Let's hear
Yes,
from Akash. Somebody so young. Akash,
Yeah.
let's hear
Shall I?
from you.
Dharani.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes,
Akash. Yeah.
sir. First of
Second
all,
year, like I want to get your
yeah, yeah.
opinion.
I'm Akash. Yeah, from second year, sir. The moment I saw yeah, highly experienced graduate speaking about his experience, I was so fascinated about and want to learn a lot from you. It's been a huge pleasure, sir. A lot of good, great. I think that's beyond a great advice. I will be using that for in my life for sure. I can't be more thankful than this, sir. Thanks for your
Uh,
valuable advice.
yeah, Akash, the question here is, did you gain anything from talking? Is what I'm saying. We are asking, I think,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sir. Yeah, so that's the thing, sir. I learned a lot. I think I can't measure that what I gained, sir. I just want to literally implement what you said in my life as I'm a second year, and I will be using the way you taught me to my future, sir.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
check it out.
Thank you.
I have a website also, but like if you ever want to go to that website, like it's called chemicalengineeringbootcamp.com. Just reach out to me, or you get on my email ID from Professor Narayan.
Yeah.
Just email me.
Sir,
We can do.
Yeah. Dharani, go
sir,
ahead.
shall I? Sir, actually, I had a complete view of how we must be self-prepared to face any of the core interviews. Cause at the starting, when you asked me a general interview question, I wasn't able to give my quick response since I didn't get any chance to attend any of the core interviews. But at the end of this session, I got to know how one must be prepared to face an interview. People used to say, "You are a girl, you won't be hired in any of the chemical industry. Better quit the dream and go settle in IT." Even I heard the same comment when I went for implant training in CTEX Petrochemical. Myself and my friend asked him, "You are allowing us for an implant training, but why won't you give a chance of job?" I was completely blank on hearing all those negative comments, sir. But this session was entirely a positive loaded session as well as an energetic session. The entire session made me feel so good and motivated a lot. Thank you so much for spending your time in guiding us what to do next, how to do it, and how to do hold the position in job if we get it. Thanks a lot once again, sir. We are so blessed to hear your speech, sir.
Thank you. Dharini, I want
Yeah.
you to know something. When I graduated, there were 4 girls in my class. Okay, out of 37, 4 of them are girls. One of them is now as one of the senior research scientists in ISRO
Okay, sir.
system.
Uh,
And then the
thank
other one is in GSK Pharma. She's in London. She's one of my. Both of them are very close. I still talk to. The second person is Sangeeta. She is actually managing new drug rollout. She's actually working on a new drug that is being rolled out for fighting the COVID situation test. So she
Super,
is one of
sir.
the very instrumental person in that company. So girls are really, really required in the field. Don't get distracted or disciplineless people
Yes,
who are
sir.
really just they don't have anything better to do. So just don't get disappointed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Anand, did you observe one thing? Modalle, when you started and asked question to her, Anand,
Yeah.
so she was like
Yes.
the kind of intonation or the gap she had in speaking was very different. But இப்போ வந்து she's like
Yeah, that's right.
she's,
Yeah.
so
I never spoke this continuously for like so
Sir,
long. Okay, so you are doing
yes,
lots
sir.
better.
Sir, it made
No,
me more energetic, sir. After hearing this 2 hours speech, it was so nice to hear from you, sir. We are so blessed, sir.
Yeah, that's what Anand, I was about to tell, that you can literally see the effect. முதல்ல பேசினதுக்கும் before we started this and now you can see that 2-hour effect is there. Okay. Yeah. So anybody else who wants to speak or
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Just
Hariharan, yeah.
First of all, thanks a lot for sparing your time, sir, and it was really nice session. In summary, what I understood from this session is that first of all, what we need to do is we need to sort out what we want exactly. We need to find out what we want, and once we find out, we need to set a goal. We need to set a goal to achieve what we want, and once we set a goal, we need to put in efforts to we need to keep smaller objectives to achieve the goal, right? So, and we need to put in efforts to achieve these objectives, and automatically you will be led to the goal you aimed at the beginning. So, and you will achieve success. And this is a long term process, and you might have multiple failures in between, but yes, failures are the stepping stones to success.
Exactly. You've got most of my points. So what I want everybody to know is this is one thing. The education system is unique. It's not unique to everybody. Drawbacks of the education system, but not each one of you is all the same. Everyone has their own strengths. So it is almost like an elephant and a lion competing with the same kind of race. That doesn't make sense, right? It is not about the final goal. It is about what is that you want to achieve. Don't get bogged down by what the society wants to do. Even if you get a job temporarily to get everybody on what you want to become. One of the engineers in the batch, probably 1 year junior to me, is actually a very renowned wildlife photographer. It almost sounds like Three Idiots, right? So it is actually, he is one of the very good photographer now. His father was really not happy about that. He studied electrical and communication or electrical and instrumentation. I don't know. He's a very good at that time. I have not seen him in 21 years or so. But so pursue your dreams. Make sure your passion, your strength, and your knowledge guides you.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Hariharan. Yeah. So anyone else wants to speak, or should we just close?
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah. Anirudh. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Anirudh from the 2022 batch. Thank you, Anand sir, for providing an overview of how the industry works and skills that are required. It was really an informative and inspiring sessions, how to really evaluate ourselves and how can we really succeed in our lives. And we had all those questions of what to do next, but it is really difficult to find coherent answers for it. But this talk has really provided us answers for all our questions of what to do next, sir. So thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate
Anirudh.
that.
Yeah. So Anirudh is also the current second year. So going to the third year.
Oh, wonderful. At second year, we were interested in what movies to watch, Anirudh. So you are already doing much better than me.
Right. Yes. Okay. So, is there any other comments? Somebody or just close?
Vanakkam, sir.
Yeah,
Gokul here, sir.
Go ahead. Yeah, Gokul.
Sir, so glad that you've taken time to reach out to your juniors. Thank you so much for that, sir. Seriously, we have taken a lot of points which will surely help us to directionalize our career. Two things seriously I've taken from your talk, sir. One is that how our core strength is very important in structuring our own career, and how that could be done through a consistent efforts. So seriously, thank you so much for your words, sir. We'll surely
Thank you.
have it with us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Really appreciate that comment. Good luck,
Yeah.
career.
Yeah, so Gokul is actually 19 graduate, so last year, and now
Oh, that's very
working
nice.
in Biocon. Yeah, and he's in production. Biocon.
Where?
Biocon,
Biocon.
Bangalore.
Oh, nice. Bangalore. Oh, no, nice. Very, very
Right.
nice.
Right. Okay. So if there are any other comments, maybe anybody else wants to speak? Okay. So if there are no other comments, Anand, let me formally thank you. It has been really,
Thank you.
I think this 20th meet has really become 2-hour meet. Okay. So we started at 8 o'clock. Right.
My wife always tells me, Naren, like, when people let you talk forever.
No, that's really, I mean, it is really fantastic. As I said, an epoch-changing alumni meet. And it has been very nice of you to come and share your experiences and also guide. And you are always welcome enough to come. Next time when you visit Shastra or when you visit your home, do let us know. So we will have it. Last time, I think you came, but we do not know each other, so we could not meet, probably, I suppose.
Okay.
So next
Yes, I
time when
think
you
so, yes.
visit to India, we will definitely have you here. And thanks a lot. Thanks to all the students and graduates who have come, especially across branches, and who have patiently waited for this meet. So thank you all. Thanks,
Yeah.
Anand. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Naren. Like, if you have any questions or something, like, we can tell them to send it to you, and you can come me, or they can communicate with me, or whatever, they want to do. That is fine with me.
Yes.
We'll see how things are going.
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to keep an open invitation only through this meet itself. So next talk, probably after some time, maybe after a one month. I don't want to disturb you often because I know that you are heavily jam-packed with your other work. So maybe next month or little after
I mean, this week
1 month.
for me, we'll. No.
Yeah, we should have a complete technical talk on you can pick any one industry that you have worked with. It could be water treatment or water management or process, oil and industry, and we can make it have a complete technical talk also, so that people can know it, how it is better. And one another invitation. So I'm already advance booking you for 2 more talks. The next one is not going to be a talk.
I do this a lot, Naren. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I do it a lot, so it's not something that I'm afraid of. So just let me know. Just let me know a couple of days earlier, so I will be able to prepare and schedule myself.
Fantastic. So the other thing which the second thing which I'm planning now instantly is I want you to come and take interviews, just like that, a demo interview on a Skype to some student. So it will be literally like, if you are a recruiter, you should shoot them questions so that it will make them think. Right, it will make them think, introspect, go back, and this we will have it in a very small group for the current final. Final years and the third years probably, so that they can prepare well. Yeah. Right. So thanks.
I've done that for the people of VIT, but
okay, good.
So we used to do that. So that is fine. One of my friends used to ask me to do that. So I'll be very happy to help you with any interview questions or guide preparations.
Right. Yes. Thanks a lot. Okay. So let me just stop the recording.
Okay.